Video going. Audio going. Here we go, everybody, in 3, 2, 1.
All right. I don't know if this is really a sin or not, but I was getting baked in a warehouse last week, and when I was leaving, I saw that it was on fire, and I don't know if it was me, but because it could have been the kids in the school next door, but
Still.
Presenting new ballerina Barbie. She's beautiful.
The Morning Stream. Fish. Why the hell do they call you Fish?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It is the morning stream for Thursday, October 19th, 2023. I'm Scott. That's Brian.
Hello.
Hey, Brian. What's
This
going
is
on?
it. Friday Eve, baby.
Yeah.
Weekend just around the corner.
You got big plans? You got fun stuff planned?
Yeah, gonna go see the Colorado Rapids on Saturday night, courtesy of a listener who's not able to attend.
What are the Rapids? What do they do?
They're soccer.
Oh, soccer, right.
Okay.
Okay.
They are the Colorado soccer team. They're playing against the Green Bay team or the Wisconsin team the night before the Denver Broncos lose to the Green Bay Packers.
Oh,
So
great. Wow, you've already predicted the loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty well, neither team is doing great this year, but the Denver Broncos are doing more or less great.
More or less great, yeah.
More or less great.
Yeah, I hear that from a lot of Broncos fans. They don't seem real happy this season so far. Things could turn around, though. You never know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll just, we'll call it we'll use the same excuses. Oh no, it's a growing year. It's a rebuilding year. We're just, Russell Wilson's trying to get his footing and all that. Yeah.
Sure. Those are all we've been saying rebuilding year about the Jazz since the late 90s, so I feel you.
Sure.
I feel you. All right, we got
How's your pro NFL team doing?
they're doing great.
Good.
They're housed in Vegas, which is kind of hard to deal with, but we're doing okay. Actually, they're not doing that great either.
The Raiders are definitely going to win this weekend. I'm
Pretty
sure the Raiders.
Who are they playing this weekend?
They are playing. I just had it up a second ago.
I don't even know.
Because I've been, I've got this Pick'em League. A few Tadpoolers are in the Pick'em League. Tanner and Barry Folk and Wes, we know as Burgess Diesel in the chat, and Dak Daniels. And anyway, the Raiders are playing the Chicago Bears.
Oh, the Bears. The Bears. Is this a home game or an away game?
This is in Chicago.
Oh, and they're still planning it a win. Well, that's fantastic.
And they're still planning it to be a win. Learned today about arbitrage, which is a very interesting way to game the game system. So arbitrage, if you if gambling is legal in your town, sports gambling is legal in your town or your state, then you can do this thing called arbitrage, where if you've got the time, you can pit all of the different services against each other. So right now there's a bunch of different ways you can bet online, or different companies.
Sure.
PointsBet, FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, DraftKings, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is you look at lines, at spreads and things like that, and if the odds on two of the same bet are wildly far apart from each other, then what you can do is, in one betting app, bet $100 on it, and then on the other betting app, bet $100 against it. And you're guaranteed to make money from one of those. You'll definitely lose on one, you'll definitely win on the other one, but if the gaps are hugely spaced apart, then the amount you win or the amount you lose will be more than you lost on the other bet.
That seems like something that industry would want to squish. No, they don't. They're
You would
fine
think,
with it.
yeah.
But maybe that gets them more.
I think, well, I mean, it's it'd take a lot of work, and I know Missoula could speak to this, but it'd take a lot of work for them to go and look and see what the odds are on every other betting app, because those are all done independently. Missoula does it for DraftKings, for example.
Sure.
And I don't think he goes to I don't think he goes to FanDuel and MGM and Caesars and PointsBet and Betfred and all these and sees what their odds are to make sure that you can't do it. But they don't care, right? They get your money.
They get your money either way.
They get your money either way, or they have a chance of getting your money either way.
Yeah. and it's in their favor the way it works because you still pay fees on top of stuff, right? I assume.
Yeah, exactly.
So funny you
no,
bring.
actually you don't. You pay. They build in like you basically don't get 100% of your bet back if you win, right? So let's say it's a $5 bet on the Raiders Bears game this weekend. If you win, you don't just get $10, you get some like $9.80 something cents.
Yeah, and they get the rest.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of Metsula, I talked to him last night, funny enough, and
interesting.
He wants to, or I approached him about it. He's happy to do it, but we're going to bring him back. Remember we had him on a few times talking about Vegas stuff here on the show?
Yeah.
Going to bring him in November and talk about the F1 stuff.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And what the impact is, and just kind of get a dude on the ground, in the middle of November.
Absolutely. Our man in the street, Mitsula.
Yeah. Get him on one of his cigar walks or something. Do
We
that.
could talk about how how Las Vegas has made one side the southbound lanes of the Strip beautifully repaved, graded, repaved, and super nice, while the other side still, as you drive on it, still feels like it's in a war zone.
Yeah, it's all like gummed up with literal gum and stuff like that. Like
and potholes and stuff like that. It's like, they're only the F1 cars are only going to be driving on one side of the Strip, so we only really need to spend the money to fix one side.
I think it makes the sport more interesting if they had to drive on the potholey side.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of danger in your day. Anyway, that'll be fun. We'll figure out when, but sometime in November we'll get him in here. I think that thing starts early November is my memory.
November 18th, I think.
Okay.
17th, 18th.
Yeah, I forget. But yeah, perfect place for it. None of the snow the rest of us will be having will be there or any of that stuff. Yeah, good time for it, I guess. Sounds like it's gonna be a nightmare though if you have to travel, or no, if you have to work there and commute around there. That would suck.
It's a nightmare. I mean, it already is kind of a nightmare because of the construction work that's going on all around Vegas for that, and ripping out trees and all sorts of stuff. So
it's time to move to Hendertucky, all you people. Get out there.
That's right, or Pahrump.
Yeah, or Pahrump. All right, we're gonna do a little car talk because that's our new show. That's our NPR car talk.
Sports. Now we moved on to car talk.
That's
Next
right.
We're
after that, I don't know.
Moving down the FHM list of topics, or the
slowly over time becoming an actual morning show here on the morning stream. This is about your brakes actually that you just had done, or you just did them.
Yep.
And this guy wrote in, I don't think he left a name. Anyway, this says, in his description of changing his brakes on the last TMS, Brian did not mention having bled his brakes after the job was done, except to say that right after he had to pump his pedal a few times to get the fluid into the calipers. That part alarmed me. As that need to pump the fluid while test driving should not have happened if he had bled his lines. Without bleeding after the brake job, air that has entered the lines during the repair will cause a lessening of hydraulic pressure. Basically, this can be dangerous because during times of heavy use, good bleed kits are pretty cheap at Harbor Freight. Vacuum sealed bleed kits are great for just one person. Did you do the bleeding? Was there bleeding involved?
I didn't, but I picked up. I've gone on to Harbor Freight. $25. Got the vacuums. Basically, it's a self brake bleed kit.
Yeah.
Blake bleeder and vacuum pump kit.
Yeah.
Don't get the brake breeder. The Blake breeder is not the thing you want to order. You want the brake bleeder.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say. I'll take care of that this weekend. Although, I'm not so worried about it because I hardly ever use my brakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just floor it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just start coasting when I'm on my way home. I start coasting about 4 blocks before I get to my house.
Yeah.
And by the time I roll into the garage and hit all the mattresses I've set up to stop my car, I'm not going too fast. It's great.
So I feel like I've learned a little something about Harbor Freight. I thought they just did like tools and crap.
Hardware
I guess this is
stuff.
tools.
Yeah.
I don't know why it would be any different. I just didn't think they'd car stuff there. But there you go. All right.
DJ in the chat room says it never had to bleed brakes when changing pads and rotors in 35 years, unless you take off a brake hose, which I didn't. I didn't take off a brake hose. The pad holder, like all that stuff, stayed on and intact. So
I've never even heard of the term. It's like a brand new term.
agrees.
Yeah. Agrees with which? Him or the?
With air can be compressed, fluid cannot. Agrees with DJ.
Oh, I
saying
gotcha.
unless you take off a brake hose, you don't need to bleed the brakes. I have been doing a lot of driving. To be serious for a moment, I have been doing a lot of driving and have not had a problem. As a matter of fact, I was doing some reading this morning after I saw this in the notes, and they say that if the air, if you've got air in your line, then it takes a lot more effort to stop the car with the brakes, and that has not been an issue. The brakes
So you're not having to push harder or do anything like that, or hold
not
longer.
having to push harder. So I don't know. That said, better be safe than sorry. Picking up a brake bleed kit and taking a look.
Bloody brakes, perfect for Halloween. Let's go.
And those of you named Blake who are breeding, congratulations.
Yeah, well done, Blake.
Yes.
I hope it's a boy. I don't know why. What else? Oh, electric car stuff. Some more car talk.
Yeah, cool.
Another.
Which is what I'd like to replace my Kia Soul with.
Yeah, heck yeah. This is from a listener also via text. They did not leave their name. Hi, Scott. Heard you're talking a little bit about electric cars a couple of morning streams ago, and I'm a big fan of them and have been driving them for over a few years now. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Also, you were talking a bit about how Tesla's attempt to make their charging cable and charging port the standard. As of now, Ford, GM, and a number of other major companies have all agreed that they're going to just use the Tesla standard from this point forward, because Tesla chargers tend to be the best maintained and available chargers in the country so far. I guess it turns out it kind of worked. Yeah, I assume so. Every time I see a bank of charging stalls,
They're always Tesla ones.
they're always
Tesla
Tesla.
logo
So
on them.
yeah, so you may as well. I mean, when in Rome, it's like, you know,
It's Apple saying let's do the USB-C cable on all of our devices.
yeah,
So,
same idea. It's just finally caving to the standard, I guess.
Yes, thank God.
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so, my car, I need to go find a USB mini port to charge it. Oh no, I need to take mine to a USB Type B device.
Who was the dude from, I forget, came to Vegas 2 years ago and brought his Rivia truck, the electric truck.
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
And he
Brought it
had
over to the
can't think of
player
his
one or the-
name. Yeah, I came to the arcade thing, but in his back little compartment there, he had like two adapters.
So he could still use the Tesla ones. He just had to put a little connecting device.
Yeah,
in
and I can't remember if it was maybe defaulted to Tesla, but if he had another kind, he had to have I can't remember, but he says that everyone he knew with electrics drive around with multiple adapters just in case, because they don't know where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Tim Watson says Musk wins again. Listen, Elon Musk is about as involved with the Tesla company as Dave Thomas is involved with the new pumpkin spice frosty.
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't ascribe too much to Elon in this case. He's not not
for
really.
sure.
They kind of told him to quit bugging us.
Yeah.
Although that
we'll
weird
have you on the silent board.
that weird truck that has breakable windows, when he said it didn't, that thing's
Oh
coming
yeah, the
out.
Cyber truck.
I think that's this week. People get delivery on
It
that.
is, yeah. It's supposed to be right. I just saw on Engadget or something that you're starting to get delivered. So
Yeah.
really good, unless baseballs are flying in your area.
Yeah, watch out for that. Also, I'm
Don't park next to a stadium.
I'm curious about reviews because personally, if I'm getting a truck and it's a electric, I'm probably either doing that Ford F-150 Lightning or whatever they call it, or the Rivia, which is a lot more money. But I would do those because I think this thing looks really stupid.
It does.
And
It
it's
looks
also
like
a target for people, even if it's amazing. It doesn't matter to me. It's a target. People are going to see it parked in a mall parking lot, and you're going to be too tempted to key it or do some shit to it because you're mean that way, and it stands out too much. It's just too weird.
Here's what I'm really looking forward to. So when I get my electric car, there's like that big screen. They all have a nice big screen in the middle of them. The Teslas have like larger than an iPad Pro screen in the middle of the dashboard, which I really like.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have all my sports betting apps on that middle screen, and I'm talking about this just to irritate the crap out of Stephanie in the chat room.
Well, sometimes we like to target you guys, and we just did
We
it.
do. Exactly.
Take that. Yeah, I'm looking at this thing. It's also different than what he showed on stage. It's like
Oh,
got a
really?
bunch of changes. Yeah, like just the way it's like the profile of it is different. I don't know. I'm curious to hear reviews and stuff. I want to see what people say about that. That I almost called it a device because they kind of are now. These cars, they're more device than car. It feels like half the time.
They are, yeah, exactly. Which is fine. Hey, I like devices.
It's all fine. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's a device with wheels. Cool.
All right, on that same text line, we also got a voicemail, and this is about town names. You know, we're talking about Tooele and Arkansas.
Right, and Versailles, I think, was the thing that launched the the whole diatribe.
Yep. Well, we got more on that, so here you go.
Hi, Scott and Brian. This is Malia from Omaha. And after hearing you talk on TMS this morning about town name pronunciations, I wanted to tell you about 2 Nebraska town names. First, we have Norfolk, which is spelled Norfolk, but pronounced Norfolk. And if you say it as spelled, people from there will get upset. Supposedly, when the town was being named, it was supposed to be named after the North Fork of the river, but there was an error that left it spelled with an L instead of an R. And second, we have Cairo, which is spelled exactly like Cairo, Egypt. The town has Egyptian theming with street names like Nile and Egypt, and you'll see it decorated with images of things like camels and palm trees. But it is pronounced Cairo, like the syrup. Anyway, thank you so much for the show, and have a great rest of your day.
What is going on in Omaha, Nebraska? Why?
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God,
seems crazy to me.
I forgot about Cairo. Yeah, it's almost like people decided we like all of these cities that are outside the U.S., but we don't like the way they're pronounced.
Yeah, that's weird.
And Norfolk is just or Norfolk, which is just horrendous.
That's really bad.
Especially the fact that it's spelled with an L but pronounced with an R. Norfolk.
It seems like if you are the incorporated city, though, couldn't you make something permanent and change the typo? Like,
yeah.
Why couldn't you do that? That feels like a good thing for your local government to do. So I don't know. But hey, Omaha, you're the home of great things. So good luck to you.
You're home of the, what is it, the Omaha World Register? No, what is the newspaper? Omaha World Citizen?
Sentinel?
World something. Omaha World, dang it. All right, I got to look it up.
Synchronicity.
Omaha. I imagine if I just start World Herald.
The World Herald. Okay.
The OWH, yeah.
Nice. You've been there, sounds like.
I have been there. Worked there with a guy named Brian Hemberger. That was his real name.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that where Omaha's where John Candy got stuck when he was selling curtain rings for?
Probably. Yeah, and Planes, Trains, and
Automobiles.
We're coming up. We're coming up pretty close to the viewing, the annual viewing of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, I didn't watch it last year for I don't know why. We always do, and we missed it, so we're doing it this year for sure.
The only reason I don't want to watch it is because of that horrendous "Every Time You Go Away" cover.
Oh, it's so bad.
I almost want to edit the movie, my version of the movie, and replace that with either the Paul Young cover that was a huge hit or the Hall & Oates original.
Yeah, one of those would be better. And here's the funny thing. It's actually fine for most of the scene. It's instrumental. It's fine.
Yes.
But the minute somebody pipes up and sings, you go, oh, shit, you guys, what?
Every time you go. Because it's so over. It's like one of those early auditions for American Idol where like they do the thing where they hold one ear and then hold their hand up and do the
Oh, I hate it. I hate that so bad.
Yeah.
Why? You know what? I really hate that. For
those of you listening to the podcast, I had one hand on my ear and the other hand held up, and I was moving it around.
And you're moving the hand around to kind of like a theremin, like you're controlling the pitch.
Yes.
Freaking hate that so much. Why do I have such an aversion to that? I wonder. Like I see it and I just go,
because it's like such a what do they call that when somebody fakes an affectation? Is that an affectation? Like when Madonna started speaking British, speaking with a British accent.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Is that what it's called?
Affectation or a I guess that's a right word. I'm not sure that's the right word, but
this is where we appreciate the
tadpole.
There we go. Behavior, speech, or writing that is artificial and designed to impress. Affectation.
That is affectation.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like it. I wish people wouldn't do that.
Yes.
And look, we all have our quirks and our things that we say and we do.
Sure.
But that with the hand and the up and down, freaking F right off with that business. I hate it so much. I don't know why that bugs me so bad, but it gets under my skin.
I gotta ask about Hobbs Dog, who says Gillian Anderson does that now. Same with, of course, Johnny Depp. Now, wait a minute. Gillian Anderson is British, isn't she?
She's British. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think her.
It's the other way around. She came here and talked American for X-Files and stuff.
Oh, you know what? She was born in America.
Yeah, but raised over there, right?
Let's see, born in Chicago, Illinois. She must have, right? Because she's absolutely, grew up in London, United Kingdom, and Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
So
it was a chunk of time too. She wasn't there. Let's see, it was most of her growing up, I think. Let's see, born in '68. Where's her early life? Here we go. Born in Chicago. Grew up in West Michigan for a while. Okay, soon after her birth, her parents moved to Puerto Rico for 15 months, then to London. Yeah, so she's essentially let's see, when she was 11 years old, she returned to the States when she was 11, and then went and spent every summer in London. So yeah, she.
Are you on her Wikipedia page?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't scroll down. Don't look at the photo that's in there. I'm going to paste the photo.
All right.
In our chat, and I want you to tell me in what year was that photo of Gillian Anderson taken?
Oh my gosh! Oh wow! Look at this. All right, I'm putting this up. Can I put it up for the chat? Can they see it?
Absolutely, put it up for the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's Gillian Anderson. I'm gonna say 90s, and let's narrow it down. Probably this got to be pre X-Files. So I'm going to say
X-Files. Yeah.
92.
2004.
Oh shit!
She looks younger than she did when she was on the X-Files.
Weird.
Yes. The Curious Case of Gillian Anderson.
I still have such a massive crush on her. I love her.
Yeah. You need to watch. You haven't watched the? Did you watch Sex Education?
I did. Kim and I loved that.
Yeah,
that was
the
great.
final season was just so good.
Was there? There was some talk of some more episodes. Maybe I misheard that. Something new was coming out soon.
Well, the final season just came out.
So we're behind a season then. If it just came out,
good.
That's
good.
what it is.
Watch that and have some tissues handy, and not for the reason you might think with Sex Education.
Yeah, because that show was not afraid to go places like that.
Although Ruby, hubba hubba.
Hubba. Yeah, that's a fun show. It's
yeah.
what you know. What's great about that show? It is. You think it's like, American Pie style kind of raunch, whatever. And in some ways it is, but it's not. It's like about these. It's about people and their innermost needs and wants, and it's way more than what the surface of it is. It's really smart. I really like that show a lot. It's more than just a comedy too.
It'll get you ready for the new Doctor, because the best friend of the main character, Otis's best friend, Nikuti Gatwa.
Yeah,
he's
the new Doctor.
The new Doctor.
Oh, that's right. He'll be great.
Yeah. He is going to be great. I mean, his character in Sex Education is practical. It's the Doctor without time travel.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, where's your freaking magical screwdriver there, buddy? You should have it out. That's awesome.
I love the Doctor and his magical screwdriver.
What's it called?
Sonic screwdriver.
Sonic screwdriver. Shit. I mean, look, number one, I don't watch a lot of Doctor Who. Number two,
right.
I knew it was a screwdriver. I just could not remember the Sonic part.
That's true. I'm glad you didn't say, exactly. His magical hammer.
Magical hammer in space in a phone booth. Whee! All right.
Hey, that's pretty. Think about it. We've got a Norse, superhero god with a magical hammer. We've got a time traveling doctor with a screwdriver. Are there any other fictional characters with that carry versions of tools? Like, we don't have somebody with a magical saw anywhere, do we?
Does Captain America's shield count as a tool? I don't know if it does.
It's a shield.
Okay. It's just a shield.
It's just a shield.
But Mjolnir's not.
Yeah, Shovel Knight. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, Shovel Knight. Yeah, Shovel and the Shoveler.
Anybody with a wrench, like who?
Let's think about that for a second.
Does Bob the Builder carry a wrench? Oh yeah, the wrecking crew, because I mean they've got a crowbar and a
yeah, they have a lot of implements from the garage. Yeah, and the mystery men, they're all about using practical shit, forks and stuff.
The shovel.
Yeah, the shovel. Or shoveler. When was it? Shovel? The shovel.
The shoveler.
The shoveler.
The shoveler. Yeah, I was just saying what he had
his
was
shovel.
the shovel. The character was the shoveler, but
I was questioning my memory. I'm like, wait,
yep.
is he the shovel?
Right. You had it right.
It's my deal, Wade. My deal. Let's see what else. Who else?
Right.
That's all I can think of. No other Marvel characters have cool shit like that.
No.
Or DC for that matter. I'm trying to
DC,
think.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
I guess
I imagine there's somewhere some one issue character, one issue villain that carried a blowtorch and a welding mask or something. I'm sure.
Ooh, the welder. That's a cool name.
The welder. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna merge your shield to Wolverine's claws, Captain America, and then you're gonna be welded to him permanently, or your shield will be anyway, and you can just let go of your shield. But whatever.
I guess the way to look at it is, are they not the thing they're supposed to be without the tool? And I would say yes.
Exactly.
Like Thor is lessened without Mjolnir. It's not the same.
For sure.
You could say that about. You know what? Silver Surfer could be. It's not a tool, but without the board, what is he?
Before we get emails, Thor is fine without Mjolnir because he has Stormbreaker now.
Oh, that's true. But it's still a tool,
It's still a tool. It's just not a hammer.
Now it's like an axe with a big hammery thing on the back.
A magical axe. Yeah.
Now we can cut down big magic trees. Magic trees. All right. Hey, Brian, there's something here. This the double shot Wednesday. We got to hear how that went. What's going
I had
on?
my double shot yesterday. It wasn't 2 for Tuesday. It was double shot Wednesday. Make sure you say the phrase that pays when we call you, and you'll win $100. Got my Fluvid shot yesterday, and so I'm.
Same arm, separate arms. What'd you decide?
Same arm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a real man like me. I did that too.
Darn right. Well, I just don't want to be sore in both arms. I mean, if you're going to be sore me up in one arm.
Yeah.
And not really feeling, obviously not feeling like I did after the Moderna shot. So let's hear it for Pfizer and whatever it is in my system that does fine with.
Yeah. I had Moderna and it didn't bother me at all. So I don't know what my deal is.
Well, I mean, it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different.
That's true.
Somewhat different physiology. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But Moderna hit me hard. Pfizer, I'm just a little bit, I don't know, little sloggy today, a little slow,
little low.
Not so, not so bad that I need to sit down for the show. But yeah, don't ask me to perform any major math problems today.
Okay, no, that'll be good because then you'll be on par with me in my normal state with math problems. So that's great. Mm-hmm. Now we're the same. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad it went well. And the flu shot, apparently the flu going around this year, the one that's based on the shot that everyone's getting, is a gnarly one. So
really? Good.
Get that flu shot, sure. Baby. Because man, I know a couple of people who are just wrecked with the flu. And that reminds me. You know how yesterday I couldn't get it to work? Carter's voice thing.
Oh yeah. Were you able to get it?
She sent me a video. I'm not going to show the video, but I am going to play the audio because she asked me, please don't show this video, Dad. You can play the audio, but not the video because it's kind of looking up at her and she thinks she looks bad. I think she looks adorable, so I don't know what her problem is, but whatever.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's play this so you can guys get a taste. So she's wandering around Japan and Korea. Now she's back in Japan today. For her final day, and then they're
back
flying
and
home
forth.
tomorrow.
Just can't decide where she wants to be.
Just gallivanting around the planet like it's hers, Exactly. Here's what she says, and I don't know how she's communicating. It's already hard enough if you don't know the language, but when people talk to you, she can barely get a voice out. So listen to this.
I'm in a market, but I wanted to show you guys what my voice sounds like because it's so bad.
She can barely talk.
Oh my God. It sounds like Claire on day 2 of Vegas.
Right. It does. Oh my gosh, you're right. It does.
Yeah.
And that was also after a little karaoke, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah. See, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll get you every
karaoke.
time.
Yeah.
And she also found this coffee shop in Japan, with no Japanese characters, just in English, and it says, she's Bagel Coffee. with an apostrophe, which means possession, which means she is Bagel Coffee. It's a weird thing.
Right, exactly. It's right, exactly. You're abbreviating "she is bagel coffee."
Yeah, that's a very odd
the
deal.
contraction of bagel of "she is bagel coffee."
I guess things just, Japan translation, one of my favorite things on this planet.
I would have a coffee bagel, but I don't know if I'd have bagel coffee.
Oh, let's think about that. So a bagel flavored, coffee
A
flavored
coffee-flavored bagel.
That
Totally
sounds
fine with
yeah,
that.
that sounds all right.
Chocolate chip bagel, blueberry bagel. I've had all the bagels.
But what if you
God,
had
I
an
love the
everything
cinnamon crunch bagel at Panera?
Oh,
so
those are really good.
so
What if
bad for you?
But what if you had a everything bagel, the kind that are just dumped with all the
Yeah,
flavors?
where it's like onion and garlic and,
Yeah.
and sesame seeds and.
What if that was the flavor of the coffee you had?
No, pass.
Oh, you'll pass it all right. You'll pass it right
Yeah,
through.
it'll pass right through me. Exactly.
Yeah, gross. That does sound gross, and I'm not even a coffee drinker, so nobody do that. All right. Well, great. Let's do some news. We got some news to cover.
Let's do some news.
It's important, people need the informity. Today's news is brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville today at 12 p.m. Yeah, we're keeping that noon time for the foreseeable future. Twitch.tv/Coverville. Today, celebrating the birthday of Natalie Merchant, who turns 60. And, no, math again. I'm going to guess about 10,000 Maniacs.
Man.
And songs that we're gonna be hearing, but of course, all your favorite 10,000 Maniacs and Natalie Merchant songs like "Wonder," "Motherland," "Like the Weather," great cover of "Because the Night" that she did. These days, there's a lot of good stuff to hear on today's episode
At
of
noon
Coverville.
at twitch.tv/Coverville.
Noon. Yep, I'll be playing Marvel Snap while I play the music, and probably because I'm a little logy today, probably not doing a whole lot of talking, which is just fine.
Nothing wrong with that. Did any of the 10,000 Maniacs, I assume they're down a few over the years. They don't have as many.
Well, Natalie Merchant left the band, and they replaced her with another singer who had a great voice, and they did a cover of More Than This by Roxy Music. Their first single after after the replacement, their first single was a cover of More Than This.
I like that song.
I do too.
I'm not even a big Roxy Music. I couldn't tell you most of their library, but I love that song.
Yeah.
I just remember Roxy Music had album covers that made my mom nervous.
Yeah, they lots of ladies, like European model ladies, sometimes with their boobies showing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't afraid to show some boobs on album covers.
No.
Let's just put it like that,
Brian Ferry, probably the best dressed man in music.
Oh, hell yeah.
Always suit and tie, like always. Little undone, the first button undone, suit, the tie hanging down a little bit, but still one of the best dressed men in rock and roll.
Do they still, I don't know, gallivant around and do music?
I saw Roxy Music live 2 years ago at the Paramount Theater, and Brian Ferry sounds as amazing as he always did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he dressed nicely in his suit once again?
He absolutely was.
Well,
Yep.
then
I'd
mission
be
accomplished.
disappointed if he showed up with cargo pants and a Baskin Robbins t-shirt.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Just throw everyone's expectations right in the trash can.
Exactly. Limbo up, limbo down, and he's like in a, like suspenders and no shirt and Junko pants.
Love that.
Yeah, Robert Palmer ties for best dressed man.
Oh, yeah.
Late great Robert Palmer.
Girls go crazy for the best dressed man. No, how's that go? Yeah. Girls go crazy for a sharp dressed man. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah.
All those same looking ladies behind him dancing.
That's right.
Same looking
Except
ladies.
that was you were singing ZZ Top. And,
Oh, is that? Yeah, I got the wrong song.
Addicted to Love is the.
Might as well face it. Oh, shit.
Yeah, there you go. But same kind of thing. Might as well face it. You're a sharp dressed man.
Look at all my same looking ladies. All right, we got.
You were just referring to him being a sharp dressed man. I didn't realize you were saying that was one of his songs. That's
No,
cool.
I have.
But
I completely.
But they
messed that
sound
up.
exactly the same. There's got to be somebody who did a mashup of those two songs.
If they
Sharp
haven't,
Dressed
someone
Man
needs
and,
to. Somebody do that if you haven't already done it. Okay. Take my horrible music failure and turn it into cash. A mom. This is kind of a sad story, but also a little insane. There's this marshmallow challenge going around. I've seen it a few times.
Just don't do anything that begins with that ends with the word challenge, people.
I
Just
agree.
Save yourselves.
Yeah, why would you do this to yourselves? This mum, this is obviously a British story.
A mum. Yes.
Choked to death while doing the marshmallow challenge. The mother appeared to choke to death while participating in the marshmallow challenge. Natalie Buss, age 37, an accountant and mother of 2, was tasked with fitting as many marshmallows into her mouth as possible during a 60-second fundraising competition at her son's rugby club in Badow RFC near Pontypridd, South Wales. Pontypridd.
All right.
That says Pontypridd right there.
No. It's Pontypridd. Yeah.
What a dumb name. Go
it really is,
yeah,
yes,
get that.
exactly.
Go to the local council.
Right.
Get
the
that.
RFC is rugby football club, but Badow must be the town.
Yeah, it
or
must be Badow.
Badow is the team name, and then Pontypridd is the town.
Pontypridd. Where do you live?
Pontypridd.
Oh, I live in the west side of Pontypridd.
Pontypridd.
Terrible name. Anyway, she died in the emergency room, or after emergency services got to her. They were unable to revive her when she was called. They were called on Saturday night after bus collapsed at about 10 p.m. She was laughing at the same time, and it was like she sucked the marshmallow down her throat hole. 1 minute, everybody was enjoying themselves and whooping. Says the quote. The next, she was on the floor. It was dreadful to watch it happen in front of you. Well, of course it is. It's awful. First aiders went forward to help. This is a part of the quote. I love first aiders.
First aiders.
Yeah, we usually say, what do we say? First responders or something?
Yeah, first responders, exactly. First aiders.
I like first aiders. I'm going to use that from now on. Anyway, someone said they had gone for the defibrillator on the wall of the school opposite. I love the way these people talk, but it didn't help. Her airways were blocked by the marshmallows. Her family is waiting for the results of a post-mortem examination. Don't be doing the challenge.
Horrible. Yeah.
Don't be stuffing a bunch of
Stay
marshmallows
away
in
from
your mouth.
challenges, people. It's never good, and then nobody ever picks a challenge that's rarely picks a challenge. I know we had it with the ice bucket challenge was to help raise awareness. And money for a good cause. But other than that, it's all dumb. It's all.
Do you remember that for a hot minute? That's all anybody was doing.
Yes, exactly.
Every video you saw, every stupid thing you heard about, every Vine that was on Vine before Vine went away.
Was the ice bucket? Was somebody dumping? They're not donating money, but they're just dumping ice water on themselves.
Yeah.
I donated money, by the way, and I did it with a coconut bra per request by Carrie.
Oh, okay, that was Carrie's idea.
Cleo, yeah, she told me to put on a coconut bra and pour ice water on myself, and I did.
I forgot about that part. I did it too. Also sent money. My kids, I think my kids did it to me. I don't remember who did it to me. I think it was my kids.
Yeah, no, I think your kids did. I think I remember that video.
Yeah, it may have been Nick. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's your kids, Scott.
It's your kids, Scarty. Here's one. Here's a story about Florida. We like Florida when they're available for news coverage. A flight to Florida returned to Panama over a suspected bomb that turned out to be not a bomb, but an adult diaper.
Oh, no.
Yeah, kind of nasty.
Did somebody get in trouble? It depends.
Oh.
Couldn't resist. Sorry. Had to do it. Sorry.
Did you get the bomb? Well, that depends on who you're asking.
Exactly. Was it really a bomb? Depends.
Depends. There's so many depends jokes that we could make.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
No offense to anyone who deals with incontinence. We know you're out there.
No, yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
I had a little scare yesterday. I'm not saying much else.
Oh, really?
Well, I just
no.
Sometimes you eat wrong and you think, you might have to toot, and then you realize, I'm glad I held back because that wouldn't have been a toot. One of those deals.
That was not a toot, not a false alarm.
Yeah, I could have said shart, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Trying to spare some people.
Thank goodness.
Well, now I went ahead and said it, so what are you going to do? Anyway, airport security at Panama City's Tocumen International Airport. I don't know. Taco Man.
Tocumen.
I like Tocumen. International Airport on Friday. Search for Copa Airlines flight bound for Tampa, Florida for a suspected bomb, only to find an adult diaper. The plane had returned to the Panama airport because they were worried about this bomb. It's a Boeing 737-800. I don't know what that means. A dash? When are we putting dashes in there?
Yeah, they have that like a second designation for your 737.
It's like zip codes when you put the dash and the extra numbers.
The +4.
Yeah.
Right. The zip
Yeah.
+4.
I don't know my own +4. Do you know your own +4?
I don't. I know that it autofills it on most places, but
Yeah, which
I
is
could
why I
not
don't know.
tell you-
I just assume it's like
yeah.
not info I'm ever going to need.
It's
you know?
it's sadly it's like yeah, I mean mail will still get you if you just do the 5-digit zip, but it's getting to be like how it is for people's phone numbers, how you don't need to know people's phone numbers because they're you have the speed dial in your phone.
They're just in your phone, yeah. I don't know. This is really embarrassing to me because I really should know it, but I don't know Kim's phone number. I don't know it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one
I should know, exactly.
That's one you should know.
She knows mine, no problem. She knows all numbers though. She has 4 different credit cards memorized. Nobody kidnap her. We're in big trouble. Someone kidnaps her.
Wow.
She knows my driver's license number and her driver's license number. She's nuts with numbers. She can remember everything. She remembers a phone number when we got married. She remembers our phone number when we moved. Still.
I can tell you the phone number I had when I was growing up because my mom, instilled the fear like most parents did as a kid. They get you fearful of what happens if you get kidnapped and you need to be able to call home.
Yeah.
So I still remember my original home phone number.
I do too as a teen. I don't remember my kid one, but I remember the teen one. Is that the same
I
for
remember
you?
my teen one, which is different. I know our current landline, which is now Tina's fax number because she needs a fax for Adult Protective Services, which is silly that faxes are still a thing.
I know. There's some businesses where they just cannot get rid of them. They just can't.
And I can tell you Tina's cell number. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any other phone numbers that I just absolutely know. Not really, not many others.
Let me call my teen one, see who has it right now. Hold on. I'm not going to give the number away because I don't want to dox anyone. But,
No. Yeah.
Let's see here.
To place a call in this area, you must dial the area code and the phone number.
Oh, all right. When did that happen? All right. So
Apparently it's outside of your normal area.
here we go. Let's try it again. Put it on speaker.
Your call cannot be completed at this time. Please try again later.
What does that mean?
Hmm.
Oh, now I understand.
Yeah, to Yamada.
Well, I guess my high school number is no longer in service, is what it sounds like.
I don't even know the 1-800 Cars for Kids phone number. I can't even think of what that one is either.
1-800, is it Cars for Kids? Is that the full thing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's all right. I keep telling people our text line is 801-471-10 hams, which is not correct at all. It's like not even close to correct. It's some other thing.
How many people now are hearing the Cars for Kids song?
Okay, so now that I know this is unlisted, I can just say it's 801-943-8087. That's my old number. And the 943 was the thing that was made it easy for all numbers behind it to remember. If my current number was 943, I would always or if Kim's was, I would always remember the last 4. There was something about the 943 that kicked off memory for me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, well, there's a fun look at it.
I won't be saying my phone number because I use it for a numerical login thing that I still use.
Oh, don't be telling us that then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's again, you don't know my phone number as a pre-11-year-old, pre-10-year-old.
That's right. Nobody knows but you.
Nobody knows but me. That's not information you can scour my LinkedIn for.
What level of torture would it take to get you to say? What would it be?
Oh,
let's say it's just you. It's not your family. Oh, fingernails. That'd do it.
Fingernails. That when I hear of fingernail issues, pulling off fingernails with pliers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll tell you the.
You can have my number.
I'll give you the Death Star plans if you're threatening to take out my fingernails. Put your Bothan spies away.
Yeah, forget about Bothan spies.
Yeah.
Many fingernails were sacrificed to bring you this information.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, wow. All right, here's a story about a black bear. It's not even a joke, but it sounds like one. Black bear walks into a gas station bar.
Well, you gotta say it like David Aston. All right, here's one for you. Seagram's golden. All right. Black bear walks into a gas station bar, Maddie, takes a pack of gummy bears and leaves. Bartender says.
You can always tell what behind background things we're watching. It affects our lives.
Totally. For you, Sopranos. For me, Moonlight.
Yeah, it just affects your life for a while. For a while, Brian will have a whole bunch of these references, and it's fine.
Exactly.
All I could think of.
We'll have a few laughs.
All I could think of was Sopranos for about 4 weeks. Anyway, so here's the deal. Walks into a gas station bar, takes a pack of gummy bears, specifically gummy bears. So a bear taking gummy bears.
A bear taking gummy bears, yes.
And then leaves, just took off. Jay and Karen de Ghostbraid serve a variety of customers at their tiny Tipton gas bar in Lake Cowichan on Vancouver Island. I don't know how you say Cowichan.
I don't either. Yeah,
Cowichan?
That's exactly how I would say it.
Yeah, it sounds like one of them up north names.
Cowichan. That's one where it's just not obvious which syllable has the emphasis.
Yeah. I want to say cow, but maybe it's co. I don't know.
Right.
92-kilometer drive west of Victoria up there, but they never expected a black bear to make it to their list of clientele. Security footage from the store caught the bear casually walking in at 6:30 a.m. on Monday, going through racks of chocolate bars before grabbing a 70-cent pack of gummy bears in its jaws and then took off without paying.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
I can't believe it.
You know why, though? He has no pockets.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, that's why bears never have any money. No pockets.
Do you think the animal kingdom has any species that are like annoyed at kangaroos or other marsupials? You know what I mean?
I think there are very few animal species that know about kangaroos. Like, I think
mostly kangaroos know, and that's about it.
Yeah, kangaroos know about it. But it's like, oh, look at the pockets on that one. It's basically what the other kangaroos look at each other and, she's really nice, but she's got a really small pocket.
Yeah, yeah. The pockets are really a status symbol.
It's
in the
exactly
animal kingdom.
right. Yes.
Yeah. If I was an animal, I would want one. It seems convenient. You can stick a thing in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put your kid in there. Put your bag of free gummy bears in there. Whatever you need. The bear went out to the parking lot and ate it after he took it.
It's a pouch, not a pocket. All right. Yes, we know.
We know it's a pouch. Calm down, all you weirdo Doctari experts, whatever.
It's a Joey pocket is what it is. Settle down.
Yeah, calm yourselves.
Surprised we heard from Hobbs Dog and not Lucky Phil on that one, because I would have thought that.
Seems like a Lucky Phil thing to know.
A Lucky Phil would be, hey mates, it's not a pocket, it's a pouch.
Yeah. The dingo.
That's not a pocket.
That's where the dingo ate your baby, so they know.
Exactly, yeah. That's Lucky Phil's voice, by the way.
Yeah, that's really good. I was blown away by it. It says here, the dude, Jay, who runs the place, was just drinking coffee behind the counter during the robbery, just chilling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to get between a bear and their gummy bears, I think.
That's the old phrase?
Yeah, don't get between a bear and its gummy bears.
I mean, I don't want to get between a bear and anything, but I had so growing up with like Grizzly Adams and stuff.
Yeah.
Not with him, but on TV.
Yeah.
It was hard to reconcile this idea that bears were really dangerous when all of the media that we were shown about bears made them seem cuddly and kind and pets and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So growing up, bears were not a scary thing to me. I think as an adult, I would recognize it for the wild animal it is now, but if you'd have put me in front of a bear when I was 12, I might have been like, oh, a bear.
Just like Grizzly Adams. It's nice. It's friendly. We can teach it to do stuff.
Right. And the bear from Grizzly Adams grew up in Beaver, Utah, so you could actually go down there when it retired and hang out with it, and they had tours and stuff. And so I just was never, bears were just cuddly, beautiful things. There's a reason teddy bears exist.
Yeah.
Right. They're kind of cute until they open that mouth.
We want bears, bears are, cubs are cute. Bears are mean, but we really like our small animals. And
yeah. This is all truth coming out of your mouth.
It's all true.
Now. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendi has sidled up to the show today, and we're going to be talking about something new called loss of self. Okay? And we have a follow-up call before that about what we talked about last time. So, Brian, get ready to lose yourself in a conversation with Wendi. But before that, a song break, if you please.
Sure. Let's go to a band called the Uni Boys. UNI boys, like boys who go to university. These guys are so right up my alley. They're from Aliso Viejo, California, and they are a power pop band, but more of like the original style power pop band, like you found in the 70s with bands like the Kinks, the Knack, Big Star. Man, so many, like if you think of those bands in that era, this is what you're in store for with Uni Boys. I love this album. Downloaded the whole thing. This is and it's appropriate because the album is called Buy This Now, which I did.
Nice.
And this is the first single from the album. It's called Let's Watch a Movie. Here are the Uni Boys.
Make way for the cook.
Wonderful spaghetti you made, Dad. Uh-huh. Using every pot and pan in the kitchen.
I am an artist.
We better get artistic on these dishes, Pat. While you, Chef Dawson, relax.
Huh?
There's no such thing as vampire killers, you knob lord.
And we're back. Who was that again?
Those are the Uni Boys from their brand new album, Buy This Now! Exclamation point. That's the song Let's Watch a Movie.
Let's do that. Let's watch a movie.
Yeah, do. Let's do that.
Our pal Tanner in the thing. Oh, he had his eye surgery yesterday. Grats to him for what sounds like a successful procedure. Everything went fine.
Yes, Tuesday, but recovered.
Oh, I thought it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday. We were planning on doing D&D, and I remember him saying, I'm having it. I thought I remember him saying he's having it Tuesday.
Oh.
It went well, and he's going to recuperate, so no D&D last
No
night.
D&D, yeah. He's
totally fine. Totally.
Yeah, 100% fine. You need to recover from that kind of crap, dude. Are you kidding
God,
me?
yes. Yeah.
But he is, he's headed up an effort for the Halloween time to stream some horror movies via a stage here on our Discord. So if you haven't been a part of our Discord up till now and you want to have some communal horror movie watching, now would be a great time to join up at frogpants.com/Discord. All right.
Did he do the first one after your video game streaming time?
Yes.
On Monday?
Yeah, it was like their test, I think, on Monday.
Exactly, yeah.
Or his test, I should say. Oh, it was yesterday. Let's see.
It was yesterday. Okay.
He said he didn't have. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, here he goes. Okay, was yes? No, it was. You know what? It was the 17th. Am I smoking crack? I am smoking, Brian.
It's not important. It's not important.
You know what I have right now? I have a body full of crack. That's what I have. That's what's going on.
So it's so not important. Dale Carnegie this business and move on from the things that are not important.
All right, I'm going to start doing that more. Hey, my sister Wendi joining us. I should play the thing for her, though. Here you go.
I'll explain the situation to Wendi. Don't worry.
Hi, Wendi. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. Did the ringtone on Discord change? That was terrifying.
Yeah. It's a Halloween. They do a Halloween thing.
Okay, and my audio was a little loud, and I jumped to like a foot. That freaked me out.
He thought it was another national emergency test thing, maybe.
Yeah.
How did that go for you? Were you where were you when they did the test? Were you prepared?
I was with a client who is a TMSer.
Oh.
And we were laughing. Because we were very far apart time zone wise, and there was like a 2-minute delay between them, and we were like, "Oh, come on, system!" No, I'm just kidding. It was annoying.
A lot of dark stuff can happen in 2 minutes. Jeez.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd think that would be more synchronized. Come on, government, get your crap together. There was a whole bunch of people believed it. It was a whole conspiracy theory that this thing was going to activate the
vaccine.
The 5G vaccine.
The RFID chip that they put installed in you.
And there was one lady in particular was so adamant about it on Facebook that I bookmarked her post because I just had to see. She was sure it was end times. I was like, I got to see where you are the next day. And the next day she's like, got up this morning and it looks like our bird feeder's empty. Gonna go. I'm like, you're just going about your life after you said all that stuff yesterday. You're not gonna just like, you're not gonna cave to this. Like I at least wanted a follow up that said like, the highest form of government. They've decided to put it off another month while they test it. And she didn't do any of that.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
That was a shame. It was a real shame.
You
My
don't get
sister
to run a cult and act that way.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to run a cult, run your damn cult. Wendi, my sister, she is here on Thursdays for Therapy Thursdays, and we help you guys with your problems. We got a topic today, but before we get to it, Wendi, I've got a follow-up call from the last couple of weeks that I just thought you'd like.
Okay.
Nothing, it's not a whole new subject or anything, but it's about moral injury that we talked about.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And I thought you might like to follow up, so here it is.
Hey guys, this is Jana calling for Therapy Thursday, talking about Wendy's moral injury subject. I was so grateful that she talked about this. I've actually been overcoming something similar. Just over a year ago, I was working for a company who was a managed services provider for various places in Manhattan, and one of my clients I found out was a literal slumlord, the type of people who were pushing low-income families out on the street peak pandemic so that they could flip those properties and make a hefty profit. When I learned about that and learned that I was actually, in effect, helping push these families out on the street, I couldn't deal with it. I pushed myself to find a new career at that point. And proud to say that, I'm still struggling with some of that, but I did turn to start working to provide equal access to health care for low-income families. And I know now that the work that I'm doing is going for the net positive in the world as opposed to those abhorrent practices. So thank you, Wendi, for talking about that. And actually the subject helped me a lot to kind of overcome some of the feelings that I've still been wrestling with. Love the show, though. Hope it wasn't too loud. I'm driving in a loud car at the moment. And have a fantabulous day.
That's pretty great.
Aw.
Yeah, that's so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it fits exactly what you were talking about. Like that's a dead example or a dead perfect example of of what we were going through. And I'm really happy to hear that she got to be where she wants to be now. It's really good.
It's amazing.
Thank you for that.
I love a follow-up. Give me a follow-up.
Yeah, it's good. We like feedback just as much as the rest of you. All right, so keep it coming. If you have a follow-up conversation or you want to talk about how one of these segments helped you or something you did around it, 801-471-0462 is the place you can leave those voicemails or texts. You can also email us, of course. All right, Wendi, let's get to today's discussion. We talked, you and I, briefly over text about it. I have an idea what this may be, but this idea of loss of self. And we don't mean like, oh, no, I'm in the mall and I can't find the car. We don't mean that. We mean probably your identity is my guess, or your feeling of who am I, and I thought I knew myself, and now I'm not sure, that sort of thing.
Yes. Okay. So I was trying to think. I mean, I have many examples I could sort of point to of where I interact and it intersects with the work that I do. And sometimes it's kind of hidden. So let me explain. Maybe I'll give you an example of somebody. I'm going to mishmash like 20 clients into one person here.
Sure.
But just this idea of you are raised in a particular home. I tend to work with a lot of religious or post-religious people. And so often there's like an identity sort of handed to you in sort of the way we are, way we should be. This does not require religion, of course, to do that as well. Like, and in the Smith family, we bowl or whatever, right? Like you're kind of offered a lot of templates that offers way nice word, basically told you're this and that, and maybe some labeling occurs kind of early. And then, you go and you live your life and there's kind of a trajectory and this is what we do in our family. And that's, very much influenced by the zip code you are in, right? Like there are moments sometimes, I don't know, your kids are out of this stage, but sometimes I'm like, is this what we do here with kids? Did we all have a meeting and agree? Because they're all going to be on traveling sports teams and never be home again. Like, is that, who's voting for this? Right.
Sure.
So there's bigger, broader cultural factors, plus, extended family to family of origin things. And I would say this is a very common one I see in my composite client I'm describing for females, and males have their own version of this as well. But for females, it's often diet culture stuff, just really implanted very young, criticism of those who are different, So clearly you can't be those things, so you take the just average family raising kids without even trying. You are telling a kid what to be and what to do and what's appropriate, right? That's society, that's human, that's what we do. Now there's sick versions of that, right? There's sicker versions that can occur and be really dangerous. I think I've shared this about a client once before, but this mom basically told my client when she was young that, very low quality people eat spaghetti. So we won't eat spaghetti, and they hold forks certain ways, and they clean certain ways.
Low quality people eat spaghetti.
Eat spaghetti, yeah. It's a sign that you're very trashy and that you don't,
I am very low then because I had it last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all of us. But anyway.
What about the people who call it spaghetti? Are they even lower?
They're
the
very
lowest.
not allowed.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Kick them out immediately.
What's wild about that story is that there's not an object that humans use on a regular basis. This mom did not make toxic and abusive. So it's like how you clean, and everything was related to your moral qualities, how you did certain things. And then the great irony is it turned out the mom was actually in a cult, and
oh wow,
there was some systematic abuse, weird stuff. And anyway, so lots of now, and that's kind of what this is an extreme example of what's probably happening for most parents, right? They're not all in cults, but there is I want to do it the right way. I want to feel like I fit in. I want to feel good about my efforts. And so, you control different trajectories of different kids. Okay, so I'm taking too long to explain this, but basically this idea is that you're getting all sorts of feedback to tell you who you are, okay? So you go, you develop, you start doing things, and there's some normal milestones that you need to meet, and some of that is identity development, can happen at different points. It's really important as your brain starts to shift to being more abstract and you're more social, and friendships shift, gender experiences are really changing, and then you are at the ripe old age of 15 and 16. And this is when you're, it's like the 12 to 16 range is where you kind of are pushing back against parents. And sometimes that's internal because it's not safe to do that externally, but you're kind of realizing like, I am not them. And that's individuation process is sort of beginning, right? But you learn pretty quick what makes mom and dad happy, and all of those things. And so you're really forming a lot around those things. And then we get to the identity critical stage, which is the 17, 18, 19, 20 to up to 26, when your brain's kind of done developing. And that's when you sow your wild oats and you figure out what you think. And, and that's prime college time, or prime, military beginnings, or whatever it is, where you are learning a system without mom and dad telling you everything, potentially. I think when you think of like a homeschooled kid, it's like a real obvious version of this, where there's like, and now pay attention to what everyone else thinks before you only had mom and dad's sort of take on things, right?
Right.
And so it can be a pretty stark experience for a lot of folks. And then others will find that they just keep pleasing the system. Like, it's gotta be, I'm gonna do the thing that gets me all the accolades and rewards. And I'm supposed to be a lawyer, so I'm gonna make all this money, and then I'm doing all of that. Now, fast forward a period of time when you're doing the identity that kind of was handed to you. And this is a very gentle version of this, right? There are very serious versions of this where you are really not allowed at all to be anything like yourself, or to develop any sense of your own identity. It is all dictated. So I'm going to stick with the happy version, the average version that we're all experiencing.
Yeah, the average
so then you're
good.
going along,
Yeah.
and then something occurs. It's, tragedy. It's loss of something that felt like was always a given. It could be a health scare. It could be a relationship ending. It could be, lots of different things. There's also just the middle of life that can also derail a person's sort of forward momentum in terms of, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So this is kind of connected to that moral injury in just the way that what we expect and need out of something might really not be what's happening. So we do all the right things, and we're supposed to be what? Happy? What else? What are we all guaranteed when we follow the "this is who you are" path? Someone's telling us what to do, how to act, What are we supposed to be getting?
Oh man,
satisfaction, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
I mean, that is
we
what
can make this broader to that for
well,
sure.
that is what that clause is supposed to mean, right?
Yep.
It's supposed to mean, and the other thing too is it doesn't say. A lot of people confuse this. It doesn't say you're guaranteed happiness. You're guaranteed the pursuit of which.
That's right.
And then you got to decide what that is, right? Like you have to decide what happiness is for you.
Right. And we could maybe have an episode on the cult of happiness at some point. As if it's a thing and it's not just a passing emotion like sadness and other things, but man, is it tempting. But it is so in the zeitgeist of that's what you're supposed to want and need. And right. Even if we can debunk it, we're all still going to be like, yeah, but I still want to be happy.
Yeah.
Right. Cause it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're doing all these things, you're promised all this stuff, and then stuff starts falling apart or whatever it might be. Right. So when I am now intersecting with people on this path, I'm meeting them often in their 30s, 40s, where they are like really, really, really disconnected to any core who I am. And so people have written about this. Obviously, this is not like a, thing no one's ever heard of. But I think a lot of times people don't realize what's going on for them is actually a loss of self and not like just, oh, well, if my ex-wife was smarter or better or my kids won a football game.
They're kind of just like a piece of paper floating around in the wind, just letting the life push them around as opposed to doing what they need to do to find happiness kind of thing.
Yeah. And so, for example, let's point out a really obvious one. What is something both of you really like or like to do or identify as that other people think you're stupid for? That they're like, no one with a brain likes this.
Well,
and
let
you
me
do.
tell you what I want, what I really, really want. No,
100%.
Brian really likes the Spice Girls. So.
Yeah, but I don't think that's probably not a good example of this. That's a really good question. I can't think of something that
we have very good support systems, right? You and I.
We fall into the communities of people who like the stuff that maybe everybody on the outside world doesn't like, playing video games or Dungeons and Dragons as much as the people in our immediate community who help us validate that the stuff we like.
We
is,
get a lot of
fine to like.
self-validation out of that, but we also have very supportive family systems. You and I.
Yeah,
we have wives who totally get what we're into, and they're cool with it.
They may not participate in Dungeons and Dragons, but they support the fact that, well, they like that we like it.
Yeah. And then,
okay, but here's the thing that wasn't always the case. You have,
right.
I mean, in the general wide world, can you walk into any room and just talk about a most recent Dungeons and Dragons experience?
No. Oh no, for sure. I mean, that is, again, we get cushioned by the bubble wrap that is our community. But if we were to walk into the Texas Roadhouse steak joint and say, "Hey, everybody, let me tell you about the latest D&D campaign we just played." And,
and you might find one or two guys in there that are like, "Yeah," but mostly it's just going to be weird,
Yeah, exactly.
So
right. Okay, but at some point, you braved this. At some point, right? How did you make a friend who also liked D&D if you didn't say the words "I like D&D"? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, when did you, and this may be going way back, but when did you differentiate from what everyone else thinks you should like and what maybe your family's told you should do or something, right? Like, and usually it's a moment of like honoring your own internal need, want, experience, right? Like, I am this, I like this, I do these things. And the way you can kind of see the test is if it's against what is very common, right? Now, you can also really like the stuff that's really common, and that is true to your identity, and that's okay too. It's usually not tested quite in the same way. So I'm just wondering if you guys had an example.
Nobody teases us for liking Foo Fighters or, Led Zeppelin or something like that. But but you mentioned Spice Girls, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, really? Okay, all right, that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so how do you have the ego strength to handle that? Brian? Let's just use your Spice Girl example.
Because I have a massive ego. I mean, it crushes me under its own weight sometimes. No, so you absolutely have to be able to laugh. When somebody says you really like the Spice Girls, you just kind of have to laugh it off. There's a little bit of self-confidence in there, and there's still like a little bit of a little stab between the armor plates that kind of happens with that, but very minor one. Like, I played up until a few months ago, played Pokemon Go. That was always a thing like, oh, that's still a game? That thing from 7 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a self-defense mechanism of just kind of like laughing it off, like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know they're goofy, they're silly, but I love them, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you do that with Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I know it's kind of silly, but it's a great time, and I have a really fun time with the group I'm playing with, et cetera, et cetera. You just basically have to. It's a method of turning with the like the Daniel-san drum toy. Where you kind of move with the shot that's hitting you, so you're not bracing against it and causing more impact. You kind of turn with it.
So you have some skill you developed to manage that.
Exactly.
My likes are valid.
Yes, exactly.
I can navigate this socially, and that's not easy for everyone, for sure, right? Okay, so Scott, do you have an example for you of where you are like, you can't pick anything nerdy. That's my new rule.
Okay.
Can't pick anything nerdy.
All right.
That you are like, think about just your own identity development. And Brian, you can answer this too, but like, at what point were you like, I am this and I'm comfortable with that? And
I'm here, I'm nerdy, and deal with it.
Yeah. And so maybe nerdy is still the answer, but like, yeah, what do you
it's funny because I know what you're saying about, we don't want to get into the weeds of being nerdy, but it is kind of when we grew up, Gen X kids growing up, we were picked on for this. Like if you were into, I don't know, watching Voltron in the afternoon and doodling cartoons in the morning and whatever we were into, right? The people, I say people, but like, jocks and stuff in school, it's very different now because most everybody kind of is all doing it all anyway. But then you were teased for it. And it wasn't even until I got tall that people stopped teasing me for it. For some reason, height, turns out physicality is a big deal.
Was
it works.
That works a lot better than people maybe realize. But so that was a thing where it was like, well, this is who I am. And there had to come a time where I just sort of embraced that. And I have to admit, it was after height. And
you're like, I'm a tall nerd.
I knew I could get away with it because nobody was going to pick on me, but I also felt more comfortable in the kinds of friendships that I had. Like right around junior year, I had friends that were the stoner kids out in the parking lot skipping class, and I had friends who were jocks and the captain of the football team. And I had, I'd date girls who were weird, gothy, dark art girls, and then I dated a girl on the drill team. Like it was like I used to think it was a point of pride to go, I'm with everybody. We're all here. Scott's he's a no nonsense.
He's a man of the people.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to tell myself that story in order to maintain my confidence about it.
You're the person that Edie McClurg is describing when she's explaining to Principal Rooney how Ferris Bueller is friends with all the jocks, the sportos, the geeks,
what does he say? She say at the end, he's a something dude.
Righteous dude.
He's a righteous dude. Yeah.
Righteous dude.
I tried to be a righteous dude, and I think a lot of it was just me telling myself that, to help justify it or whatever.
And you're navigating, and you're pointing out something important, like the most sensitive, unfortunately, developmental window of identity development is adolescence, when your hormones are rocking and you're trying to understand what your place is in that. And so you're going to find a comfort zone. And so often, at no fault of anyone's, your comfort zone is going to be what makes you feel the most safe as a social creature that needs to survive, right? And so let's say, so Scott, let's say your man of the people act just kept going and going and going, and you spent your whole life just trying to make sure like jocks liked you. And maybe everyone still does a version of whatever their identity journey was as adolescents, a little bit in adulthood. I mean, I'm telling you, every like PTA meeting is like a middle school. I don't know. It just reminds me so much of like, that thing. Like no one's grown up a little bit because of some of those. How do I identify myself gets developed usually during our adolescence. And that's why when some hard things happen during that period of time, it has such a dramatic impact, right? Because it really is a sensitive window for this development to happen. So as you're, going through these stages and learning different things, so you get to this moment later in adulthood going like, I don't know, as things are falling apart often, I don't even know who I am. So this loss of identity can show up in lots of different ways. It can maybe have never developed very strongly. And then for others, it may be that it became so tied up in their job or in raising their children or being a part of whatever they're a part of, that if there's any loss around those things,
right.
You really can have this pretty catastrophic event and lose really a sense of yourself. So let me just be clear real quick. This is not like depersonalization, derealization. This is not psychosis. This is none of the broader not knowing who you are things, right? Those things are also real. And if you don't know you're in a place and you don't feel real, there's other things going on. And so reach out to your local mental health helper because you can get some help with that. But I'm talking more about just like not really knowing who you are and what you want. So what happens again, going back to when I meet up with them, they are telling me all this stuff that's going on that is the surrounding loss or the pain or the problems, right? And so often with them, I will work through, hearing all that out and trying to understand it. But this theme will emerge. And it's not 100% of people, but it's when it shows itself, 99% of the time, people have no idea this is going on.
Right.
What they think is, I'm supposed to be happy. Yeah. That is so universal. And before you said the Declaration of Independence thing, I was like, oh yeah, it's encoded. It's enshrined. Mm-hmm. It's not just taught by every religious group or family group or, pop psychology. It's all there, right? Like you're supposed to be happy. If you're not happy, something's wrong. Now, some of that comes from pain should tell you something's off and you need help. But more often than not, people are just saying, I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy. And here's all these reasons and surface stuff. So what I tend to like to do, and the reason I want to talk about it is because I think if anyone's listening to this and saying, I can't quite figure out why A, B, and C, there's like a couple answers. One is there's trauma that hasn't been treated and you need help there. And that's sometimes sneaky and hard to find. And then the other, and it's obviously not all the time, but the other one might be this concept of identity fracturing, disillusion, or never actually being in place, right? Mm-hmm. So what you do for this is you also call your friendly therapist and say, hey, I don't know who I am. Yeah. And they're like, ooh, get in here. Let's do this, right? Yeah. Because in essence, most of us aren't aware of it. We just think we're not happy. But when we start to dig into and just talk through what were all of the strategies you used to survive that meant you didn't develop your identity. So kids in a big family, kids who are middle kids who have been the scapegoat in a family. There's like a lot of different places that you could see your family of origin maybe creating some of this for folks. So when I say all this, like, okay, let's go back and figure out your identity. What pops in either of your minds? Do you guys have like someone that you're like, oh, I could see this. Like, it's like talking to paper. There's not a person in there. Or maybe your own kids or yourself or, what strikes you?
Oh, man.
I do know I'm definitely not going to out them because I know they might listen to the show, but there's somebody in Tina's and my life who is so go with the flow that I don't think I know their stance on anything. Like they, pro murder, anti-murder. I don't know what this person, how they feel about anything.
Pro murder.
Yeah. They have a military background, which I don't know if that caused it or at least exacerbated it, but because you're kind of and again this is me generalizing, but in the military, I you're basically told to kind of keep your personality out of things and be turned into a weapon to be wielded by the government kind of thing. Maybe a little bit of an exaggeration there, but
Right.
that might have actually had some effect on the way their outward. I have no doubt that this person has opinions and feelings on certain things, but they do not express them in an outward fashion. They're very, very much internalized, and I think that that probably causes them a little bit of spark to outrage at some times, or maybe even the opposite. Times when they should be outraged, they don't get outraged, and I think that ticks off people close to them.
Wendy, is any of this stuff tied? You know that whole thing where Johnsons can't have silence? We have to fill the void with sounds. I wonder sometimes about that because during the last couple of weeks we had this funeral and all this stuff going on, all this family around, and I have one relative, an in-law relative, who is so chill all the time. He doesn't seem perturbed by anything. Just can sit there, and if there's silence in the room, he's more than happy to sit there and enjoy it. And he's not grumpy. He's not anything. He's just there, and he's just existing, and he's in the moment and whatever. And I sit there with him, and I just want to fill the space. Just like, well, let me talk about 20 things I wasn't planning on talking about. Like I kind of lose my mind in those situations. And I don't know if that is tied to this at all, but it feels like part of my identity is that I have to fill silence. I can't let it go. You know what? One of the most uncomfortable things for me are even planned silences. Like, let's have a moment of silence for a massacre, and people bow their heads for 20 seconds or whatever. Oh my gosh, I want to die. I can't do it. It's so hard for me. It's really hard for me. Like, not that I want to suddenly go potato salad as loud as I can and run around like an idiot. Like, it's not quite that bad, but
winning an argument with you, like if you're Kim, winning an argument with you must just be like not saying anything and just letting you dig your own hole, basically.
Kind of, yeah. And I do it on the air. I do it, it's just me. But I always wonder if I have made a piece of me, if I've tried too hard to make that part of me thinking that's like that's who I am. That's part of my identity, is a guy who's got to fill in the conversation all the time. And I don't know if that's healthy. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that even has anything to do with this, but I'm just throwing it out because you made me think of it.
Yeah, well, okay. We're going to trust that if it popped up in context, it's probably related.
Yeah.
I think those are my favorite things when clients are like, I don't know where this came from. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. And they tell me, I'm like, oh, it has everything.
Yeah.
It's just you don't always see it. Now, I can imagine in terms of like the role you play, like, were you the family jokester? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, kind of.
Were you lightening the mood? Was it your job to, ease a tense moment or something, right? Like you can see where getting jobs, think about jobs as an identity, right?
Yeah.
Getting jobs as a kid in a family system is identity development. Ask an oldest daughter of any family. Does she feel like she has some jobs? Yeah, she does. It's called being perfect. Expensive and hard. And, but if you think about what maybe roles you took on or were put upon you, that is going to absolutely be correlated with identity. So now imagine, Scott, if I said, okay, I don't want to scare you here, but your true calling, your true deep self-identity is a meditator in a silent, you'd run silent retreats, this is what you should be doing. And you just missed your window because you were given a job to fill in the silences by telling us all jokes, right?
Yeah.
That's probably not true for you, but it is going to be absolutely true for people.
It is sometimes an expectation I feel at like a family gathering. I feel this need to like like if things are boring or quiet or I don't know. There's like this thing that says, well, you're supposed to be funny right now, so be funny. I do hear that voice sometimes in my head, and it kind of annoys me because if I'm not in the mood, I don't want to be be
Your roommate is your comedy manager. Your inner roommate is your
Get up on stage. Here's a mic. Yeah. And if you could also provide like a second roommate to say, hey, you don't have a job here.
Oh,
like, imagine that voice. You don't have a job here.
Yeah, but what if I only have a 2-bedroom apartment and we can't really fit? We can't fit that other guy in.
And here's the thing, Scott, clearly we have some, it's hard to analyze yourself, right? But clearly we have something similar. Like I have a job everywhere I go. And that job tends to be making sure people are comfortable and not left out. And like there's a social job we both probably feel. Now, why? I don't know. And that's because we're not going to take the time to look at it. But for all of you out there who are ready to take the time to look at it, you might find what is that thing that you do that has felt like a job. And just imagine if you set it down. Like, just imagine if you didn't make sure the family trip ran well. If you just didn't, what would happen? Yeah. Or what if instead of waiting for everyone to do things for you, you just felt like you had a job for the first time and you did those things, because it's going to be all over the map for everyone. Right. Okay, Brian, let me ask you, do you feel like you have social jobs that you'd love to set down or any other thing like that?
I mean, I do the same thing. I'm not as bothered by silence. However, I do recognize the fact that when I'm alone in the car, I'm talking a lot. I'm talking like I'm hosting the Merv Griffin show.
I love this.
Man. It's usually like, oh, hey, Nissan, maybe, I don't know, stay in your lane. Or
I do the same thing.
Hey, if you put down your phone, I bet more than you can make it through this green arrow, that sort of thing. My roommate, as we've talked about, is very sarcastic.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. That's so awesome.
No, but I do feel like I need and want to be the class clown in any situation. I feel weird when I go to like one of Tina's work events and I'm her plus one, and I feel like, maybe this is not the appropriate place to do the George Carlin artificial fart under the arm kind of thing, but
right.
Which I don't do. I can't do that. I've never been able to do that, by the way. Never can't do the artificial fart under the arm. But I don't feel like I can be my typical joking self in those situations, and it does feel constricting and limiting.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and a great way to test this for people, there are people who are listening to this going, hello, yeah, my whole life I was not allowed to be anything that I wanted to be. And I'm telling you right now, a good portion of your misery is because of that. Now, maybe your audience has a little special caveat here, because a lot of you are playing games, right? You are interested and spending time doing these things that you love, when I'm sure many of you still have a mother or a coworker or a person who's going to be critical of you doing that, right? Like you're maybe investing in some identity-based things that feel good. So maybe I'm preaching to the choir, but here is just a little litmus test to try. Okay. To ask yourself, when do I ever not have a choice? So for example, Scott cannot let silence. Scott has a job when silence is around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great example of I'm conditioned, required, something has trained me. I've trained my whole life for this, and I'm here and I can't not do it. Right. I would recommend for Scott and others with this same problem, move to a Nordic country where silence is really, really required
to do it everywhere. Yeah. Socially.
And it will re-socialize you, because you will then want to make everyone there happy instead of be the ugly American. I promise.
This is actually, this is interesting because I'm how do I put this? It is a social thing for me, not like Kim and I last night. It was just something I noticed last night. We were both on the couch in the living room reading. We had music playing, and Kim and I are reading separate books, 2 Kindles, same couch, chilling. Quiet. Completely silent for a couple of hours, maybe even 3 hours. of just reading and hanging out. And every once in a while she goes, "Did you feed the dogs?" "Yeah, I got them." "Okay, cool." And then we go back to reading. And that's not a problem. I don't feel the need to fill that silence, and I don't feel any pressure socially from her to do so, and she doesn't feel any from me to do so. So it's like this, that's totally fine. Like, just completely veg together. We also talk a lot during the week, and it's not hard for us to say we're going to have some time where we're not talking. So why is it that works?
Because 100% no job with Kim and full acceptance, right? Like that's...
There you go. That's it. Yep.
Right? Right? Whereas me chatting with the cashier at the grocery store in Sweden was a social no-no.
Yeah.
And I learned that hard.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this thing I've always done, which is my job to make the cashier be seen as a person and feel like they're doing a good job. Like, what? That's my job? And then turns out Swedes are like, no, your job is to shut up.
You want to be shutting up.
And now I love it. Now I love to shut up. And the first cashier we saw together when we were shopping, when we got to Minnesota, this woman told us her freaking life story.
Yeah.
And all I could think was, oh, the old me would love this. The new me wants you to shut up. But so this is what I want people to do. I want you to look in your little lives and go, where's a job I always feel like I have? So, and then here's the anecdote. Okay. So, I have a friend who is a master at this of social. I made the, sometimes you say words. Well, we're Johnsons. We always say words we don't really mean to sound.
No.
And like one time I was trying to give her a compliment and I was just like, I love having you at gatherings or parties because you have, and this is what came out of my mouth, you have a backpack full of social lubricant.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I totally know what you're saying, though. It totally makes sense.
Who was I talking to? Who was I talking to yesterday? Where I said I have a bag of biases. Who was that? Well, it was on TMS. They were like, all right, Sky, what do you think about this thing at Twitter that they're going to try to do this $1 a year thing for new users? And I went, well, let me just put my bag full of biases over here by the door, and now we can talk about it.
That's nice and visual.
And to me, that was just that was just the thing to say. But for whatever reason, Tom and Sarah and everybody were like, bag of biases? How do you start saying that? And I went, no, isn't that just a normal thing you want to say?
Isn't that how your brains all work? And the answer is no. But also, I need you to picture a Ghostbuster like gun that goes with the bag of social lubricant. Okay. So anyway, she has this
proton pack with the lubricant.
Yes, with full of social lubricant. Makes everything better. And so we were on a long walk this morning, and she said to me, "So, how's that pottery class coming?" Which I haven't signed up for, because she's always trying to make me do something different than helping people, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. And she is doing something very different, and she's like, "You really got to try this." And this is my challenge for everyone, is to go do a thing that is opposite of this job, but that also scratches some young person itch. So hers is, she goes to an improv class across town. No one knows what she's a mom. No one knows she runs this company. No one knows she has this or that. They know nothing about her. They just know that she needs to pick up the line when they've dropped a line in their improv class. So she just gets to be a version of herself. Her identity is unknown, and it helps this like very young part of her get to be on a stage or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. So her version is that I take pottery. It's not what I need. I'm going to figure it out. But I want you guys to think about that. What scratches some very like playful sort of, I liked this then, which I think is why one of the reasons the Barbie movie hit a lot of nerves and chords. And like, what is the thing I maybe don't ever do right now? Like, Scott, you talking about sitting in silence and reading for 3 hours is like someone showing me, showing someone else something they're jealous of, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you had 3 hours?
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. I mean, with Carter in Korea, and no kids are over, and the funeral's over, so all the big extended family is left town. So really, first night where Kim and I were actually sort of had the house to ourselves, and it was like
the ability. I know that is a beautiful thing. So enjoy that. But like, maybe that's what I need, guys, is a silent book retreat. That's what I need. But anyway, I want people to think about what job they're always doing, and then figure out a thing they could engage in that is their own choice, their own need, that's maybe something you dropped a long time ago that you just want to play with. So just, this is not how you find your identity 100%. Sometimes you got to do real work to do that, guys. But I'm telling you, and a baby step version of this is this, where you look to spend a little effort putting you on the list, doing something that matches things you care about that maybe you aren't doing, or things you used to care about that you let go of, right? So I'm going to make you two do it. So what is something that two of you don't have to go sign up for an improv class, but that is going to feel a little bit like not my social job, or not my actual job, or not my something maybe placed upon me by the community I was raised in, or the family of origin, like
easy answer for me. Totally easy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cooking. That is so outside my zone that I just never do it. When I do, it's microwave bull crap. It's just boring and lame. And I find two ingredients that should never hang out with each other, and I combine those and call it a doggerito and eat the whole thing. And like I'm not a person like that at all. Like it's completely outside my vein. And so I am always like, ooh, maybe we should do another one of those cooking classes, and maybe I'll learn a thing or two or whatever. Kim, on the other hand, rocking it.
Cooks in her sleep.
That's the other thing, is she's so good at it that I never feel the need to go, well, I better up my game. My game is good. She's in there doing it. If she left me or she was gone for some reason, I'm hosed.
Yeah, we know. So, all right, Scott, you're gonna do a cooking class, but I want you to do something. It's even if it's a one-off or it's a YouTube tutorial. I want you to go weird and big and different. Okay, don't just find a meal for yourself. Make a Martha Stewart lemon cake. I'm telling you, it'll take you 7 hours. Yeah. But find something.
And videotape. Record the whole thing so we can have a YouTube of it, because I need to watch
that. Would be fun to watch, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to do cooking. Brian, what are you going to do?
Damn it. I knew this was going to come around to me.
I mean, you are the only other one here.
I know. It was inevitable, wasn't it?
Yes.
God, I don't know. It's like... can it be like sitting down and reading a book? Because that's something that I feel I don't do at all, and just need to sit in silence and read a book.
Yeah,
I like
that.
Okay.
It can be that simple.
Good.
But I would like it to be in lieu of performing your job in some other way. So it might be that I'm supposed to go to this party, and I'm going to end up having to help everyone feel good. No, I'm not. I'm going to read a book.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Kind of fun to say. Yeah, I'm not coming over for happy hour. I'm going to read a book.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Don't be offended. I was told to do this by my therapist. So
I have to. And also, you're actually hitting something really important, which is there is a level of rebelling against the system in order to develop identity, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I like this thing, you don't, and you're going to make fun of me for it. I mean, that is forcing my identity to grow and to feel more rooted in my own self, right? And so you're doing it. It's just, right? Because the socially appropriate thing is not to stay home and read a book. It's to go and work a shift.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like avoid the social thing by reading a book. If I don't have any big social things coming up, I mean, I've got concert tickets. I'm not giving those up.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Nobody.
Stick a book in your back pocket and then just read it during halftime. Yeah, no, you can. You can do these totally separate things too. You're at a party and just say to yourself, "I don't have a job here."
Exactly. Okay. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this and not try to be the. And hey, did you hear about that?
Right, exactly. And then just
the gummy bears in Florida or whatever.
See what happens, right?
Yeah,
just be more of an observer and see what happens, right? And then separately, go read a book.
Yeah.
So Scott's going to cook, you're going to read, and neither of you, Scott, I want you to try that too with any social situation where you feel the immediate need to fill the space.
Yeah.
Just tell yourself, I don't have a job, and sit down and see what happens.
I will say this, I've been trying to, not so much TMS, because the whole point is Brian and I talking on TMS, but on other shows, especially ones I guest on, I'm trying to actively. I go into them going, all right, Scott, you're gonna answer questions a little more succinctly and not try to keep talking. You know what I mean? Like just be. Mm-hmm. I don't mean just yes and no and then leave them hanging. I don't mean that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
bad
that.
Radio.
That's very bad radio. But Like that Post Malone thing you heard the other day, Brian, where he just
where he's just like, no, it's tight. Oh yeah, no, it's really tight.
Yeah,
it's like
I think
go into more detail there, Post.
I think he's a little stoned.
Still tight.
Sorry, this is a side note, but good news. All the talk about him leaving Utah because he couldn't afford the land to expand his compound. That has all changed. He's now staying. He found a deal. He's staying in Utah. Anyway,
yay.
Yay. But I am already trying to do that there. So I think I'm actually kind of got some momentum right now, and I think it would be a good time to experiment,
Good. And let me sum up with this. People are probably like, how is this related to identity? It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. And really what it is that you're trying to reconnect and be playful and experimental a little bit about, what have I given up and stopped doing? Or what do I need to stop doing? So I have a little more maybe internal space for other things. And there are people who this is not intended for, who never think about anyone else. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. I ain't talking to you.
I am talking to those who tend to be giving and helping and making sure others are comfortable, and they had jobs given to them, and that's very tied to their identity. Yeah. For those who are like just straight up miserable, you might want to ask yourself this question, like, let's map out my identity development. I would say kids these days are way, way more aware of identity development than any generation before. Yeah. And it'd be great if we were all skilled and we could help them navigate it. But we tend not to be, because we all tend to be just in jobs we ended up in, or in, whatever it might be. And the more authentically someone lives, and I don't mean this in the hippy dippy way. I really don't. I mean it in like finding what you care about, who you are, standing up for that, letting that grow. The less cognitive dissonance you have, the less feeling crappy that there is. It's, dare I say, a closer version to happiness. But we all got there somehow, and where we're at, and that is relevant. So this is about just getting curious about the start, and then let's mess with it a little bit.
All right. So we have homework is the point.
Homework. And I would like a follow-up voicemail again about someone's amazing success. So
please do. We love getting those.
Yeah.
Help me feel good about this.
Yeah, we always,
that was awesome. I love that.
Feedback. We always get feedback, but it's always, some of it's like quick stuff in the chat, or we hear it in Discord, or it's these other places, and then I don't know, there's something not validating. Obviously we're doing, people are hearing what we're doing. We're getting great downloads on Thursdays. It's nice to hear when you guys have like a specific hit point for something Wendi talks about. So let us know.
Yeah. A follow-up like, hey, I heard the episode on loss of identity, and then tell us your whole story. We'll work your case. Like, it could be a free hour, baby.
Yeah, so free hour of therapy. Think of that way.
Yeah. I bring these topics in, like you say, moral injury, but you've already solved it. So that was great. But give me one unsolved. I'd be happy to help you work through it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's great. We will definitely do that. We'll do our homework during the week, and we'll do a big follow-up next week. I don't know what I'm cooking. This is going to be a nightmare.
You cook. I can't wait. I would love to see it. A picture, eat it.
Kim will probably film it because she won't believe I'm doing it unless she films it.
Yes, so. I love it.
I do like the idea of like making something from the British Bake Off that you have to do the math of converting converting grams to ounces or whatever.
It needs like 30 ingredients. Also, you need to. Like, what if you were really meant to be Guy Fieri this whole time?
What if I was meant to? I mean, look, I'm gangster. I got sunglasses that fit on the back of my head.
Off the chain.
Yeah, I'm ready to go try triple D everyone or whatever.
Right into Flavor Town.
Yep, there
Let's
you go.
do it. You're going to be great. Okay, also, everyone sign up for Real Steps. Do it.
Oh, yeah, realsteps.org. Get in there now. There's more slots available. There's less slots available there than there are going to BlizzCon. So get in there, sign up. realsteps.org. It'll change your life. I was talking to somebody yesterday whose wife is joining up, and she is so excited, out of her mind, stoked about this. So be like her, be like them, and sign up today at realsteps.org. All right, Wendi, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I can't hang her up.
Crunch.
Okay, remove.
Do it without hanging me up.
That was crunchy, wasn't it? What did she do there?
Crunch right at the end. Like she hangs her phone up by putting it in a pile of leaves.
It's fall after all. Why not?
It is fall, exactly.
Why not? Live like the season you're in. That's going to do it for the show. Now, a reminder about what's coming up. We got Coverville at noon. All right.
Well, I might be changing that.
Oh.
Viewers have noticed that I've gone from standing up to sitting down. I am feeling so damn tired. I'm going to take a nap as soon as the show's over. So, no Coverville today. Likely tomorrow, maybe right after Couch Party or something. We'll figure it out. But
Okay.
this old man needs to take a little bit of a nap.
Your vaxes, the vaxes are hitting now, man. They're hitting
The
hard.
vaxes are hitting. The cocktail of all those that my mRNA's changing, and it's make me a little.
For
sleepy.
some reason, when you experience this, it seems right because you're supposed to have. That means a healthy immune system is saying,
"Oh, is this another humble brag from Scott?"
No,
about how
this is me
vaccines
complimenting you because your body reacts in a way that should happen. It should say, foreign objects.
I'm kidding, by the way.
Yeah, of course. But then I take these things, I get no reaction, and in my head, I'm like, did it even work?
Like, right? Are they giving me a placebo? Or are they giving me just sugar water or something?
Yeah, I feel like I don't really know, and I hate that feeling.
exactly,
Plus, it was CVS, and it was sketchy.
But still, like the Moderna, that made me feel like I actually had the flu for 8 hours. This is like, I'm just tired. And I did wake up at 5 and watch the Dana Delaney episode of Moonlighting, which always gets me
5
worked
in the
up.
morning. That's like drinking in the morning. That's crazy.
It is. Moonlight in the morning.
Yeah,
Doo-doo-doo.
why not?
If
I love it.
If it was tomorrow morning, I'd be playing Mario or I'd be playing Spider-Man. One of the two.
I got to make a decision. They're both getting rave reviews, but I'm kind of burnt. I'm a little burned out on open world, so I'm feeling the Mario a little bit.
Really? Yeah, I downloaded. I used my voucher for Mario, so that downloaded this morning, and then Spider-Man's gonna download when we're done with the show.
Oh yeah,
so
that's right. You did I should have done that deal.
I have the voucher, so it's
I
like,
didn't do the voucher.
So Mario, I will play when I'm sitting up on the couch and Tina's watching Chicago Med or something like that, and then Spider-Man I'll play right here on that screen right there with the PS5.
Yeah, that's life.
Woo! And then I won't get anything done.
Then nothing will happen. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all right. You're tired. You got to take care of you. Do some self-care, Brian. That's what you want.
Exactly. So don't look for Coverville at 12 p.m.
All right.
Mountain
No
Time.
Coverville today. There will be a Core tonight, though. Core, me, Bo, John. The Microsoft acquisition went through literally right after we finished last week's show. So we would have loved to have talked about that last week. We're going to talk a ton about it, what it means, why Diablo ended up on Steam yesterday, and what that means for Game Pass. And we got a lot to say. So tonight, Core, 5 p.m. Check it out right here at frogpants.tv if you want to watch it live or wherever you get your podcasts. Couch Party, as Brian mentioned, tomorrow, 10 a.m. We're going to watch some, I think we're going to do
Freak
Freak
Show
Show or
is going
Creep
to
Show.
supply us with another hour-long Creep Show episode to watch. It's spoopy season, so we got to watch something spoopy.
I love the spoops. Let's do it.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Play Retro is also tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., so well after that. And Film Sack this weekend, we're watching the first Chucky movie, Child's Play. Sign in for that. Also, Skim sometime this weekend. Kim and I are still working out when. Probably tomorrow is my guess, so watch for that as well. It's going to do it for us. Patreon.com/TMS is where you can support this show. If you love it, then show it. Go to patreon.com/TMS and sign up today for as little as $1 a month. That's going to do it for us.
Cool. Does Chucky have a is there a thing that Chucky says that's like his
main catchphrase?
Yeah, his main catchphrase.
Let's see. Because I can't think of one.
I'm a good guy.
Here's
gonna kill ya.
Here's some iconic ones. Let's see what they sound like. I got some audio here.
I'm Tommy, and I'm your friend to the end. Hi, I'm Tommy.
Shut up, you idiot.
Hi, I'm Tommy, and I'm your friend to the end.
These aren't catchphrases.
Hi,
No.
I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho.
Wait, why was he Tommy and then Chucky? Are we going to learn that?
Because when he's possessed, I think he's probably disguising himself as the Tommy thing, but he calls himself Chucky. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, don't let on that I've been possessed.
Don't tell anyone.
Heidi ho! I like that though. That's his catchphrase.
Yeah, maybe Heidi ho. That'll work.
Heidi ho!
It's Oakley Dokley. Oh, boy, it's getting real close to Ned Flanders. We can't have that.
Really close, yeah.
Anyway, music, though. No cover bill, but a cover today. What do you got? What are we doing?
Yeah, let this tide you over as far as your covers for the 19th of October. Mike Pacholik, he's also known as Anonymous. Yeah, he's the guy who sends us all these goodies like sign language for dummies and Funyun flavored Lays. By the way, we have a new box of Funyun flavored spicy Lays. Which
I do have mine. Mine's at the P.O. box. Just got to go pick it up.
You did get it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We'll eat that on Monday.
Yeah.
He says, "Hello, Scott and Brian. I'm turning 57 on October 3rd." Yep, I know.
Whoa!
So 16 years or 16 days late. Yep, only 3 more years to 60. Geez, I just love the sound of Manchester Orchestra. Thank you, and have a great day.
I got to say something about him before I play his birthday jingle here.
Sure. Say something.
He sounds 20 in his voicemails.
Yeah.
And I don't like that because I'm old and he doesn't seem old. So well done, Mike.
Yeah,
Let's party.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, whatever you're drinking, Mike, we want some of that. Send us that. Yeah. All right, so the song you requested was I Know How to Speak, acoustic version. It's not a cover. I looked it up and I'm like, is this really the version of something else? It's not. And so I have to go with a different Manchester Orchestra cover, but this is a cool one. This is from a tribute from 2018 called Standing at the Gates, the Songs of Nada Surf. This is a song by Nada Surf called Blizzard of 77, performed by the Manchester Orchestra. Here is Blizzard of 77.
Get more at frogpants.com.
What the heck is going on?
I mean, it's a good question.